Hello, everyone. This is Bobby Johnson. I am here with Dave Loveland, and we are the co-founders of KeepLocalAlive.org. And we want to thank you first for taking the time to watch this video. What we want to accomplish today is we want to give you the why behind KeepLocalAlive.org. Why did we decide to come together and start this movement? And then we also want to tell you a little bit about why each of us decided to do it, why I want to do it, why Dave wanted to do it. And then we want to give you, the consumer, the opportunity to tell us why you think it's important to support locally owned businesses. So before I tell you about keeplocalalive.org, I have to say that because of the recent pandemic and COVID-19, it has never been more important to support locally owned businesses because we know this. We know because of the shutdown that there are a lot of locally owned businesses that simply aren't going to survive and aren't going to reopen. And there are many of those that are going to reopen and just decide down the road that it's going to be too difficult for them and end up closing 6 to 12 months from now. That is tragic. And Dave and I could not stand by and do something. So that's why we decided to come together as partners and start KeepLocalAlive.org. So Dave, why don't you tell us a little bit about the why behind our business?
Yeah, so Keep Local Alive it's really a movement, and it's a movement that's designed to cut through all the lip service. So that's cut through all those cliched terms of support local, and we want to actually educate consumers about the very real impact that supporting local can have on their communities.
Yeah, and folks, it doesn't stop there. I mean, Keep Local Alive is all about motivation and action. It's motivating consumers to actually take action that has a real impact on these locally owned businesses, restaurants, retailers that are in the communities that they serve.
So Keep Local Alive, it primarily is a platform, and it's a platform that's going to allow business owners to tell their compelling stories, their why, and what makes their product and service unique. But it's also a place for local-minded consumers to share their why. There's consumers who love a local business near them or love multiple local businesses. We want to give them a voice and a platform where they can share their stories and hopefully highlight the action that they're taking and encourage others to do the same.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave. So that's the why behind KeepLocalAlive.org, but we thought it might be appropriate for each of us to talk about our why. And I will tell you, I have been extremely fortunate in my career over the last few years to have worked with thousands of locally owned businesses across the U.S. Not only work with them, but actually be on the main streets in many of these communities, actually walking into these businesses, talking to them, understanding why they started their business, and really developing deeper relationships with these folks. And I will tell you this, prior to that, I was one of these folks that we're talking about. It was a cliche for me. Yeah, I support local, but I really didn't understand what that meant. And it was through understanding a little bit more, but more so the economics behind the importance of it, that's where I became much more convinced that it can have a real positive impact on the economies in the communities that these folks serve. However, my passion for this mission was not just all economic. It was more about the owners themselves. They're regular people. They are entrepreneurs, yes. They're risk takers, yes. They're parents, they're neighbors, they're husbands, wives, they're men, women, they're people of all ages. And they may have different businesses and they all provide kind of unique products and services, but there are a couple of things that I will tell you all of them hands down have in common. First, they love the communities they serve and the people within those communities. That is very apparent once you start talking to these folks. And secondly, they all have a story to tell. And that story is typically why they started their business and what drives them. And I will tell you, I take great satisfaction in supporting these locally owned businesses. Once you have a personal relationship with that owner and you understand that they took, many of them, great risks to go out and start this business. And I will tell you, I am 100% passionate about helping these people and not only helping them survive what we're dealing with right now, but thrive going forward. So, Dave, why don't you go ahead and tell them a little bit about your why?
Yeah, thanks, Bobby. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been really blessed over the last 10 years or so. I've helped co-found 3 different venture-backed technology startups, software companies. But I actually started my entrepreneurial path as a small business owner of a small local service business. That's how I started and how I began. So first and foremost, I just have a deep empathy and an understanding for the stress and the feelings that these small business owners are facing right now in these extreme times. Recently, in the last year or so, I've had the opportunity myself of personally getting out onto main streets all over the country as well and meeting hundreds of small business owners, not to the extent that Bobby has, but I've been able to consult with and work hand in hand and have a direct relationship with helping locally owned independent retailers and restaurants grow their businesses and help them with their marketing. So before that, I was one of those support local is just a cliched slogan guys. That's kind of how I was as well. But through this recent experience I've had of working with them and helping them, I've realized I have a giant soft spot in my heart for these owners who are putting themselves out there and taking on the challenges and the stresses and most of the time the financial risk of trying to bring you and your community something meaningful, whether that's food or products they sell or whatever it is. Most retailers and restaurant owners, they have a deep passion for what they do, and they go through a lot of pain in normal times and financial risk in normal times to bring that to you. But right now, in the last month and a half, or for who knows how long, they're going through to extreme measures to try to stay alive and keep things open. And again, it's not for most of them about getting rich and having a huge financial upside. It's about a passion they have for their community and bringing you something special. So, take a second to just imagine your community without all these small, really cool, really colorful, really unique, locally owned businesses, and imagine your community where it's just cookie cutter chains and franchises. I don't want to live in that world. And I think there's a lot of people like me who realize that. And so that's my why. And that's why I wanted to create this movement along with Bobby and to promote it. I think you're on mute there, Bobby.
I muted myself there. I never do that. But anyway, thanks, Dave. So you've heard from us. You understand now the why behind keeplocalalive.org. You understand the why behind myself and behind Dave and why we decided to do this. So we'd actually like to get you involved, and we'd like to understand your why. Why is supporting locally owned businesses important to you? Or maybe you have a great story about a locally owned business and a service or a product that they provided for you or something that they did to go out of their way to help you. Or maybe you just want to talk about a locally owned business out there. That's fine too. So if there's a link below. It's very simple. It's a video ask, and all you do is click the button on there. You can use your cell phone and just shoot a short video and tell us your why. It's really simple. So some of you may be shy out there, and that's okay. We understand that too, but you still like to help out, so you can do that. And the way you can do that is share this video with friends and families of yours and have them get involved. So once again, we want to thank you for the time to watch this video today. We want to thank in advance for your help, and we just want you to know that yeah, we're passionate about it. Local does matter. And why it's important. That's the most important thing that we want to get across. So thanks again for your time today, and thanks in advance for your help. Take care.